Many thanks for joining us for the news on the hour. The major stories. Ahead of the forthcoming general elections, Anglican Bishop of Amici Diocese, the Right Reverend Ephraim Ikako, expresses worry that Christians have not come to terms that their vote is their power. Diocese of Avon holds 3 days post-vestry leadership training program as the diocese bishop, the Right Reverend Innocent Odo, wants both clergy and laity not to campaign or hustle for any leadership position in the church. Plus, the remains of late Mr. Ernest Orji Uwakolam, fondly called Okosisi Ike, laid to rest in his hometown Umokpara in Umuahia, south of Abia State, as his wife, children, grandchildren, brothers, in-laws, friends and relatives bid him goodbye. And here are the stories in details. The episcopacy of the Right Reverend Ralph Ebirem has come to an end as he clocked 70 years. The service for the retirement, Thanksgiving and 70th birthday was packaged by the Diocesan Transition Committee headed by the Diocesan Chancellor Sir Abraham George Will. The Right Reverend Wisdom Ihunwo, the Bishop of Niger Delta North Diocese, who preached at the service, spoke on being grateful to God for his mercies endures forever. He said God's mercies could be seen in the healing of the 10 lepers, in which one returned thanks to God. This gratitude, which the diocese was showing in the retirement Thanksgiving service, and not the demands of their bishop, who was greatly challenged by life-threatening sickness last year, saying such things would shield as many who live a life of gratitude to God, particularly from one's enemies. The Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Dame Dr. Harry Bango, also appreciated God for the life of the retired bishop, whose humility and spirituality have brought tremendous change to the diocese. The Right Reverend Ralph Ebirem, who had put in 40 years in the ordained ministry, appreciated God for the parents, relations, community and church for supporting him, especially his wife, Mrs. Victoria Ebirem, children and grandchildren, and requested for more prayers and goodwill of the church for his private life. In the course of the service, the Archbishop Ecclesiastical Province of Niger Delta and Bishop of Ikwerre Diocese, the Most Reverend Dr. Blessing Eyindaya, announced the supervising bishop of the diocese in the person of the Right Reverend Wisdom Ihunwo. The service was attended by a lot of dignitaries, including the chairman of Andoni Local Government Council, Barrister Erastus, among others. And now the Bishop of Amici Diocese, the Right Reverend Ephraim Okechukwu Ikako, has expressed worry that Christians have not come to terms with their vote, that their votes is their power, even with the level of persecution and trials they are being faced with. He made this known in an interview where he appealed to Christians, particularly Anglicans, who desire change positively in governance to deal with voter apathy and participate actively in the general elections come 2023. According to him, Christians must fulfill their responsibility here on earth as they are citizens on earth and in heaven, urging Christians to come to terms that their votes is their power.
You cannot keep on telling us that politics is a dirty game and you stay aloof, still want dirty people to rule you. So I am really worried that our people have not come to terms that our votes are our powers. And especially God is helping us in this country. It's no more a case of those primitive way of rigging election. For now, I can tell you that in Nigerian election, votes, because of the electronic pattern we are adopting now, votes count at least 85%. So for a Christian to say, you like our team is saying, dual citizenship, we must fulfill our responsibility by casting our vote, having our PVC, like somebody rightly said. INEC does not count your prayer points, they count your votes. So I am appealing to our members, particularly Anglicans, that if we want change positively in governance and in politics, we must begin to deal with this voter apathy. Not only voter apathy, we must also ask our members who feel led and convinced to contest for elective positions. And I believe by that, coupled with our prayers, we will bring necessary change in governance in our country.
Meanwhile, Nigerians, especially Christians, have been advised to go out en masse on election day and vote, as that is one way of fulfilling their civic responsibility. The Bishop of Kwara Diocese, Right Reverend Sunday Adewole, gave this advice in an interview with newsmen. According to him, Christians must take responsibility and register, get their voters card and participate in the forthcoming general elections. He also advised that Christians must not lose focus of heaven in trying to fulfill their mandate here on earth.
My candid advice to the Christians in this country and elsewhere, especially in Nigeria, by the grace of God, 2023 is another election year. It is true we have dual citizenship. We are of this world, but not. We are in this world, but not of this world. Because of that, we must not be heavily conscious and become utterly useless. It is our civic responsibility to participate, because what the wise men will lose when they fail to participate in politics is that they will be ruled by crooks. Laws that will prevent us from practicing our religion will be made, and we will not be able to do anything. So we want to beg all of them to try as much as possible, get their voters card now. When it is time to vote, they should vote en masse for people that have the fears of God, not somebody that will just want to come there and eat. So when we do this, we are fulfilling our responsibility as citizens of earth here and that of heaven. Then we have to do it with every sense of responsibility, so that we will not be conscious of heaven and then become utterly useless. And at the same time, we will not be mindful of earth and lose focus of heaven.
Now, speaking directly to the youths who are faced with different challenges in the country, especially unemployment, due to the inability of the government to provide jobs for their youths. An Anglican priest in the Diocese of Kubwa Anglican Communion, the Reverend Canon Kelechi Metu, has advised the Nigerian youth to make sure to be part of the election process and change the narrative.
For me, youths are the future of tomorrow, not only the church, but our nation at large. So we advise all youths, all competent, qualified youths from the age of 18, those that can vote and be voted for, to be involved in politics. This is the only way we can make the corrections and correct the errors we have seen in our society today. So youths are encouraged. They are encouraged to be involved in politics.
Away from elections now, the Right Reverend Innocent Olu has warned both clergy and laity not to campaign or hustle for any leadership position in the church. He said that it is God that chooses leaders in the church and commissioned them to bear good fruits for the spread of the gospel and the church. He was speaking at the ongoing 3-day Diocese of Evo post-vestry leadership training program at the Chapel of Grace and Knowledge, ACMGS Elelanwo. The bishop, who handled the first lecture titled "No man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of God," noted that those called of God must be men and women of honest report, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom. He said leadership in the church is a call for service, not self-aggrandizement, fraudulent activities, immoral behavior, and dealing with witches, witchcraft, and wizards who are enemies of God. The bishop said all those called of God are passionate about the growth of the church and the welfare of their members. He mentioned several people who were called of God in the Bible and how they performed to lead their people peacefully and fruitfully, and concluded by saying that a day is coming when the leader of leaders shall come with his reward, a particular crown which will be given to leaders who excel in service. Viewers, you've been watching the news on the hour, and still to come, Acnn Archbishop and Chair of GAFCON, Folly Beach, responds to the statement by Anglican Communion Office regarding Lambeth Conference. Now that story and others will come your way after this break. Kindly stay tuned.
Crossfire, the program that treats controversial topics on diverse issues surrounding the family, church, and society.
Does it mean if a woman now prays with her hair uncovered, God will not honor the prayer?
Should single ladies ask single guys out on a date?
It's not a sign of desperation. It's you knowing what you want and going for it.
Okay.
But you can't tell me that comedy in the church is wrong.
Written by
if you go through our Church of Nigeria hymn now, you will see so many hymns written by Nigerians.
You know, a man is seeing something here, he's going for something else. Men are confused.
That's why I said you have to help them out.
You're saying something.
Okay. A minute.
Sir, can you stop a bird from flying? Depending. But we are not instituting, we are forgiven.
No, you have forgiven,
yes.
But that forgiveness amounts to a criminal offense.
How?
Hold on.
That's
Section
My brother,
Anybody can bring
if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? It matters. So
No, I'm not saying nobody is destroying any foundation here.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or our social media platforms on facebook.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the Avo TV app from Google Play Store, and you can also advertise your goods and services on ACNN TV. Moving on now, the remains of late Mr. Ernest Orji Uwakolam, fondly called Okosisike, has been laid to Mother Earth to rest in his hometown, Umwapara, in Umuahia, south of Abia State, as he was bid goodbye by his wife, children, grandchildren, brothers, in-laws, friends and relatives at his commendation service at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Ekenobizi. The guest speaker spoke on living for Christ as he admonished all present to watch the way they live their lives.
A fool is someone who told himself that God never exists. A fool is a person that is careless in attitudes, careless in behavior, careless in dealing with God. Such kind of person can also be ascribed as a fool. Then we ask the question, are we fools? Are you a fool? Am I a fool? Are you a fool? A fool says in his heart, there is no God. We may say that we have never said that there is no God. There is God. But our lifestyle sometimes indicates that we actually believe there is no God. The way we live our lives, the way we talk, the way we respond, how we mingle with people, how we treat people. When something happens between you and your brother, how do you treat them? What is your work towards your neighborhood? What is your work in the things of God, in the society where you belong?
His biography was read by his last son, Mr. Charles Philip Uwakolam, who is a staff of ACNN, as the Basilica of Grace Choir from Abuja sang melodious tunes.
Was introduced to Christianity early in life. The family had dual occupation, of farming and trading. Hence, the young Oji was raised both as a farmer and as a trader. Late Ernest Oji Wakola, being a very courageous young man, decided to join the Biafran army and fought alongside some of his kinsmen and other youths. He met and got married to his wife, Comfort Ogunwo, in the year 1992. The marriage was blessed with 6 children.
After the service, late Ernest Oji Uwakolam was taken to his home and laid to rest.
My dad is, when I said he's a good man. I've been seeing some people that don't have a father, and he came to me now, so I'm feeling the pain that I can't see him any longer.
I'm going to miss his courage. I'm going to miss his fearlessness. I'm going to miss him being a father to me and every one of us. And I pray the Lord be with him as he journeyed to the world.
He was a good man, a devout Christian, and just as it has pleased the Lord to call him home, we as a church have come to bid him farewell. And we want to encourage others to live their lives worthy of emulation.
Well, may Papa's soul rest in peace. Moving on now. Christian community in Bauchi State has been called upon to always remember the teachings of Jesus Christ on the need to live peacefully with all manner of people. They were also urged to remain peaceful no matter the level of provocation, but should rather engage in fervent prayers for divine intervention from God in the myriad of challenges facing the country. The call was made by the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, Acnn, Bauchi State Chapter, Reverend Abraham Demils, while speaking to journalists on the prayer convention coming up on May 21st, 2022. He explained that the prayer rally tagged In Time Like This is aimed at praying for peace, unity and cohesion among Nigerians, irrespective of ethno-religious sentiments, stressing that the country is one and an indivisible entity. Two students arrested in connection with the stoning, flogging and brutal murder of a Christian student, Deborah Samuel Yakubu, at the Shehu Shagari College of Education in Nigeria on May 12th, have been charged only with criminal conspiracy and disturbing the peace, and we are awaiting a bail application. The human rights organization Christian Solidarity Worldwide said that local Christians had doubted whether anyone would ultimately face prosecution for her death, as unproven blasphemy allegations directed at members of the Christian community in northern Nigeria generally resulted in mob violence and extrajudicial killings, while the perpetrators enjoyed impunity. And this is coming after several outcry following the murder of Miss Deborah, who was publicly accused by Muslim students at the college of blasphemy against the Prophet Muhammad. They dragged her from the building, stoned and flogged her, and set her body on fire. Nigeria ranks 7th on Open Doors World Watch List 2022, an annual ranking of the 50 countries where Christians face the most extreme persecution. Now, the Christian Association of Nigeria has appealed to the indigenous people of Biafra to allow the General Superintendent of the Deeper Life Bible Church, Pastor William Kumuyi, hold his crusade in Abia State. The spokesperson of Acnn, Adebayo Oladeji, in an interview with the newsman said Kumuyi's coming to the state would be a blessing to the people of the state. He added that bloodshed and all the forms of insecurity in the state and all the southeast require God's intervention. He was reacting to a statement by IPOB advising Kumuyi to cancel the planned 6-day crusade scheduled to hold from May 24, 2022 to May 29th in Abia State due to security concerns in the southeast region. Recall that IPOB's Media and Publicity Secretary, Emma Powerful, in a statement, had asked Kumuyi to take note of the security situation in the southeast ahead of his gospel crusade. He urged the pastor to pray against wicked leaders and saboteurs in the southeast and Nigeria, saying they are the real problems of the people. Away from Nigeria now, Reverend Canon Robert Mensah, a renowned hymnologist and liturgist, has urged Anglicans to adopt a meditative approach when singing hymns. He said hymns must be sung with profound understanding, but in a meditative way. Canon Mensah said hymns had biblical connotations and thus contained words inspired by God. The stories behind these hymns, he stated, reflected and demonstrated God's deliverance, power and might over the earth, and hence must be sung prayerfully. Canon Mensah, also an Anglican priest in the Anglican Diocese of Kumasi, is known for giving expositions on hymns, particularly the stories behind their composition and their meanings. Acnn Archbishop and Chair of GAFCON, Foley Beach, has responded to a statement by Anglican Communion Office that the Acnn had been invited to attend the upcoming Lambeth Conference. In his response, he stated that as long as the Archbishop of Canterbury is inviting bishops to Lambeth who are living in immorality and continuing to tear the fabric of the communion, the Anglican Church in North America and other GAFCON provinces will not participate in the Lambeth Conference, saying, and I quote, "We have not agreed to work together. That narrative is not true. We didn't agree to this. There are some things that we simply cannot agree to, disagree on, and the biblical truths about human sexuality is one of those things." End of quote. It is commonly expected that more provinces within the Anglican Communion will be joining a boycott of the upcoming Lambeth Conference in solidarity with Beach's position. It is unclear as to whether the number of provinces sitting out Beach's last Lambeth Conference will be greater than in 2008. At this point, the most likely are thought to be Nigeria, Rwanda, and Uganda, but those numbers will likely increase amongst the normally more theologically conservative provinces. Viewers, you've been watching the news on the hour. Before we go, let's give you a recap of our major stories. Ahead of the forthcoming general election, Anglican Bishop of Amichi Diocese, the Right Reverend Ephraim Ikako, expresses worry that Christians have not come to terms that their votes is their power. Diocese of Evo holds 3 days post-vestry leadership training program as the Bishop, the Right Reverend Innocent Odo, wants both clergy and laity not to campaign or hustle for any leadership position in the church. Plus, the remains of late Mr. Ernest Orji Uwakolam, fondly called Okosisike, laid to rest in his hometown, Umwapara, in Umuahia, south of Abia State, as his wife, children, grandchildren, brothers, in-laws, friends, and relatives bid him goodbye. And that's it for this edition of the news. I want to thank you profusely for watching. I am Zubechi Frank, and do have a lovely weekend. Bye.